Hi, I'm Paul Sullenberger. We're going to go over the installation of the CeramicSpeed upgrade for the scope hubs. Starting with our hubs off the bike, no disc brake rotors or cassette. You're going to start with a selection of tools designed for the removal and installation of sealed bearings in a through-axle captured axle design. First, we'll remove the dust cap end covers and then go ahead and remove each of the bearings in the front hub. The axle is capped between the bearings, so you're going to need a drift designed to suit into the axle on one side, and we're going to tap this through, and then we'll repeat the process to the other side to extract the second bearing. Firm, even taps will press the bearing out, using the axle to have even contact with the bearing, minimizing any damage. Front hub on these utilizes a 6902 and a 6802 bearing. You want to pay attention to which one goes on each side, as well as noting that one end is longer than the other on the axle, with the longer side going towards the disc brake rotor. We'll go ahead, start with the 6802 smaller bearing. We'll set this on the axle, and we'll line everything up through the hub. It's a great idea to ensure the hubs are clean of any debris and are ready for the bearings to be pressed in. And a drift on each side will help ensure everything's in nice alignment when we press in the first bearing. You do want to press in the bearings one at a time to ensure even and smooth alignment. There's no binding or catching. These do need to be an over axle design drift, as the axle will be in place to the center of the bearings. Make sure everything looks nice and seated and sitting okay. And we'll go ahead and follow up with the 6902 bearing. Set over the axle. Start with some even alignment. We'll press it in. The bearings will come to a firm stop on the center axle, so you don't need to use a lot of leverage here. It's just a nice smooth action. And when you feel resistance at the end, you go ahead and let that stop right there. We'll check for two things here. First, pressing the axle either way, make sure there's no play, but then also even movement. You should have nice free movement, just a little bit of pressure to twist the bearing caps. Everything's feeling good. The end caps are etched on the back side for front and rear, as well as left and right side, or drive and non-drive side, NDS. So go ahead and here we have a front disc non-drive side. Sure everything lines up nice and evenly. And then drive side clips right in. Everything's feeling great. Give it a spin. You're ready to reinstall your rotor, install on the bike, and go ride. Be sure to check in on the CeramicSpeed website under the support tab for any maintenance and setup information regarding greasing and sealing of the bearings, as well as the maintenance, cleaning, and protection of the bearings over time. We'll now go ahead and perform the rear hub upgrade. With the rear wheel, you're going to follow much of the same process. Your wheel kit does include a replacement free hub body with the upgraded CeramicSpeed bearings already inside. So all we need to do is remove the dust covers and set aside the original free hub body, so the new free hub body will be ready to go. If the dust covers are tight, you can use an axle vise or a soft set of pliers. Go ahead and pull out gently. Now we'll lift straight off for the free hub body. We'll set this aside as you will not be needing this one. You'll have a new one etched scope in CeramicSpeed, indicating the CeramicSpeed bearings inside. Take careful note of the black spacer that sits on the axle. You will reuse this. And now we're ready to go ahead. We'll tap out the axle to remove the non-drive side and then the drive side bearings to perform the upgrade installation. Again, with the drift on the axle and a hand underneath, a few swift taps. Remove the seal bearing. We'll perform the same on the other side. The axle again, asymmetrical, the longer side going to the drive side where the free-up body rides. We're going to start with the non-drive side first. You don't need the axle as we'll install just the bearing. Our drift will line up on the inside of the bearing. Then we'll bring this through. With the other drift sitting down into the hub body here, you could use a spacer to have less threads depending on your tool. You get a nice firm position here, bearing fully seated in the hub body. Go ahead and give it a feel, make sure everything feels smooth, nice and seated. We'll now install the axle and the drive side bearing. Again, checking for the etching. You want to check the axle, as depending on your tool design, you may need a little extra spacing to get this all designed in. So we'll have a spacer to line up with the bearing. And now we'll have the space to get everything tightened in place. Again, just get a nice firm connection, bearings bottomed out appropriately. We'll take it apart, check for play, make sure it's all spinning smoothly. No play in the axle, nice spin movement. That's always a good idea. I have a little bit of a light grease here for the engagement of the free-up pulse. We'll reinstall our spacer. We'll take our now upgraded CeramicSpeed free-up body. If it doesn't slide on at first, check the spacer on the inside, make sure it's all nice and aligned. Give it a little wiggle. Rotate, make sure everything's engaging nicely. You're ready to go ahead and put your end caps on. Again, they're etched. Rear DS drive side. Setting on top. Spins freely. Rear body's now secure. We can turn it over. Again, rear NDS non-drive side. Snaps into place. Give everything a nice smooth spin. Make sure it's all rolling nicely. It may have a little stiffness at first as the grease is brand new and needs to be rolled in. It should very quickly start to spin freely and evenly. Your CeramicSpeed for scope free-up body upgrade and wheel bearings also come with a nice little sticker sheet here designed to go right along the wheel with the RS Scope Series stickers, highlighting your upgrade, and you're ready to go ride.